Welcome. This is just a very brief video to introduce the 2023 presentation of the Software Design and Modelling course. So here's the high-level overview of what there is in this course. What we're aiming to do here is to keep what worked well in the pandemic years when we couldn't do things in person, but return to in-person for the elements of the course where that actually seemed to be adding value. Therefore, I'm going to keep the use of the lecture videos that I made specifically for the pandemic year. So these are home recorded videos rather than recordings of videos that were given live. So I'm going to ask you to watch those in your own time, but please try to use the flexibility to get ahead rather than behind, if anything, because one of the things we will do in person every week is a discussion, Q&A, exercise type session. And there are the details there on Thursdays, and those will work much better if we can use them to deepen and discuss the material that's been presented in the lecture videos for that week. So what I'd really like is if you make sure that you're up to date with at least the compulsory material of each week by Thursday morning, so that on Thursday morning we can do some exercises relating to it and discuss anything that's been confusing or particularly interesting and so on. From week 2, we also have labs, and those also run in person in Appleton Tower. We'll be doing them on dice machines. However, another aspect of the pandemic years that I think I'm going to keep this year is to use a variety of mostly online tools, so online on the web, rather than doing very much use of Eclipse and such tools on dice, although we may do a little bit of that as well. I'm still in the process of working that out for this year. We also have a collection of readings and videos which you'll find on the Learn page. Some of these are for skills, so some of these are, this is how you draw a particular kind of UML diagram, and some of them are deeper background on the material. So I like, for example, to find controversial articles or discussions or videos. Indeed, in some cases, we've got multiple cases where people argue different sides of a question, because that's what's interesting about the subject. Piazza will be used for you asking questions, but also occasionally for announcements. So please do join Piazza and set up your notifications so that you'll see if I make an announcement there. One thing you might like to use for Piazza is if you are doing the online material and it occurs to you that you're confused about something or you're particularly interested in something, it'd be really helpful to me if you post on Piazza about it. I'll keep an eye on it, because very likely in that case I can plan an exercise relating to what you've said or plan to do some discussion or some clarification in the Thursday session. The assessment of this course is 50% exam and 50% lab assessment. So the lab assessment takes place in the week 6 lab, so this year that's Tuesday the 28th of February, 10 until 12. Please diary that now, because you must attend. Think of it as being like an exam, so if for any reason you can't, you contact your personal tutor immediately and arrange to be documented and what have you that you can't be there, but please do be there if you possibly can. I'm emphasising that because in general I don't really like to make in-person sessions compulsory. I won't be taking attendance unless I'm required to do so, which I may be, not quite clear about that. I prefer to say people have different learning styles and some people turn up for things and other people don't, and actually that's not a problem, that's a feature, not a bug. It is possible, however, to fall out of a course like this that doesn't have a whole lot of compulsory coursework. Be careful that you're not going to do that, and if you don't trust yourself to keep up with the course, then maybe this isn't the course for you. Okay? I'm often asked whether this course is difficult. The answer is it's not difficult, but you do have to keep up with it and you do have to do the work. The aim of the lab assessment is not to be scary. What I found in earlier years when we didn't have it is that sometimes people got behind on the basic UML material in the first half of the course, and what that meant was that they really couldn't access the more interesting second part of the course where we talk about model-driven development. And so I decided to put this midterm assessment in just as a kind of gatepost, a reminder to people that they really needed to be thoroughly fluent with these basic skills so that we can then go on and build on them in the second half of the course. So provided you have kept up, this will not be scary. It's 50% written exam. There's a sample paper on the course homepage. It's the same format as it's been, as you'll see in the past papers, although we're back to being in person this year, of course. There's a compulsory question 1 with short answer parts, just to check that you've revised the whole course and not just kind of selectively revised part of it. And then there's a choice of 2 longer questions. And that's about all I have to say.